Where it all started. As a youngster, I was fortunate enough to be told of Jesus, growing up with a mom that was a Christian. We took us to church, and I know my mother prayed a lot, but I did stray. I lost God along that way. I was always into art. I was always, into skateboarding. Came a time to where, I was growing up, we moved to San Bernardino, and as soon as I got to San Bernardino, things started changing, I got introduced to a whole different lifestyle and did my own thing, and my own thing didn't work, and I found myself just in a lot of trouble. Led me to some bad times, got me arrested, went to institutional facilities, detention centers, placements. I was at that point where I was content with jail. I went to court, done up. I went to the judge looking like I could care less what you gave me. I was living my own life, and I was living out hard the way I wanted to. I want to live this lifestyle, of gangs and drugs and a fast life. During that, getting in trouble, I found tattoos, and I started getting tattoos. And if it was up to me, I would have been nothing but gang tattoos on me. Once I got out, of all these placements and all whatnot, I ended up getting professional tattoos. And then I got my tongue pierced, and that's what I think started it all off. And at that time too, I was into myself, I was all about myself. I wasn't searching for nothing but my own gain. For me it was, what can I go and cluck or get, to get high tomorrow. For me it was, let's work this day to party it away, to do the same thing over. Did that when I was a child, before I was in a tattoo shop, and when I was in a tattoo shop. You know what I mean? It was work to get high, work to get high, work to get high. You didn't think of nothing else, but the good times you're gonna have and where you're gonna go that night, that was my life. That was my life for most of my career. There was a point to where I became an alcoholic, a fifth a day, for probably about 8 years before, all the sugar and everything kicked in. But one night I woke up and my side started hurting really bad. Kind of curled me up, and I found myself there 2 days later. Went to the hospital and they told me, you're pancreatitis, you're borderline diabetic, you're about to die. It was like, hey man, you need to slow down. You need to slow down or you're gonna die. And I told God, I don't want to be in the dark anymore. I've been in the dark too long. As soon as I said that, the light went on. Get busy living and get busy dying. In this time, I've always had God with me. I knew He was there, but just like any other addict, you got other things that are more important. My life was more important to me than God. I was the one to not recognize Him. I was the one to do my own thing, to push Him aside, to think my way was better, not knowing how great His way really was. The times I tried to do it on my own were always the hardest. It's when I gave everything up to Him. It became easy. Even the things that are hard now are easy. Within the last, I would say, just a year, I've really learned to just don't stress of anything. I give it all to Him, and He makes a way where there seems to be no way. I wouldn't have got where I'm at now without those trials and those tribulations. People still see me, they'll probably think, if they don't know, that I'm just dark. So I just want to represent Jesus, and I believe He's using me. I believe He's using this look. And yeah, I just want to glorify Him. It's all about Him, not about me. I want to do better and be better, and I just want to serve Him more. That's all I want to do. I want Him to use me. I don't believe piercing is my story. I think it's part of my journey, and it's been a big part of my journey. 27 years so far, but I don't think that's my story. He came to me in this industry, and He's gonna use me. Stay here, keep doing what you're doing, and He's gonna use me. Well, Active Church, I just want to say, I love you all. Thank you for welcoming me. I've never felt as welcomed in a church as I have here. I feel at home here. I do, I really do. I'm excited to see what the future holds.